So this is a quick video. It really is just to kind of tell you that I'm alive, and it's a quick Vindicta video, I guess. It's a quick guide on at least how I have a tendency to AFK Vindicta nowadays. And yeah, so we're gonna jump in. So pass through the barrier. We're gonna do that, and then we are also going to switch our prayer over to melee, and we're just gonna let our character go wild. Now, all of the gear that I have here is really high end. None of it's cheap, right? You're looking at a couple hundred mil at the very least for this setup. But the nice thing about this setup is I genuinely don't do shit like when it comes to killing Vindicta. If anything, funny enough, sometimes I kill it a little too fast and it throws off my rotation. And the rotation that it does, or the rotation that I got going right now, is pretty basic. It's kind of right there, you know. Let me go ahead and select quick. Select. Sorry if it's weird, but I'm using my tablet instead of anything else right now. So we're gonna go melee. This preset. I'm gonna close that. We're gonna walk over here. Turn on my prayers and chill. And I just turned on some buffs that I have, or not that I have, but that are useful. One of them is a the penance powder. That or not revives, but it gives me a what do you call it? Boost is the wrong word. It gives me effects once I scatter the ashes, once I use them up. And yeah, I mean, I think it's really useful here. I can't remember what I did, but there I did something with my perks or my archaeology relics that I did or that I have equipped that is not actually it's stopping the bones from showing up. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah, I mean, either way, like right now, turn on the prayer, let Vindicta attack me, berserk, critical hit, the double amount of damage hit. That's an ultimate hit, 30k each hit. I love doing that. And then yeah, my character just goes ham. I can actually kill it a little bit faster than this. But again, if you do, you're kind of screwing your rotation over because the abilities they have cooldowns. You know, regardless of how fast you kill Vindicta, your abilities have cooldowns. And if you want to make it something that's kind of AFK, right, where you don't really have to worry about oh crap, do I have the abilities turned on? Do I have X, Y, and Z like ready for me to take down Vindicta again? And it just turns like truly AFK, then you want to keep it at a sweet spot of about 30 seconds per kill. That usually equates out to a full 1 minute battle. Um, because you got to consider spawn time, you got to consider let's see what else, minor variations in the damage that you may do. You may do more damage on a particular critical hit than you would have otherwise done, and that ends the fight just a little bit faster, you know. But at the same time, if you finish the fight just a little too fast, because I have it set to fastest settings, um, usually by the time that the that Vindicta shows up again, my stuff has been reset, and it looks like I'm not really receiving any drops, but that's because I have my here. I'm gonna change this from filter to on. I have my let's see, where is it? My spring cleaner, and like it high alks stuff for me automatically, so it just goes into my pouch or my room pouch or my coin pouch rather than having to carry the items in my inventory and maybe shortening the trip. Um, but yeah, again, this is super easy, super AFK. Um, As you can see, my character's just been tearing through Vindicta every single battle. And I'm just gonna go into the gear itself. So let's talk about the gear. Now, like I said at the very beginning, none of this is very cheap or super user friendly. Um, because I have a stupid amount of perks, right? So one of the things that I got is I have that tier 99 melee curse. So malevolence. I have that right there. I also have the full tier 95 the full tier 95 power armor. You know, it's called Vestments of Havoc, and because I have it fully equipped, what it does is it allows the rotation I have on right now. So you see 50% adrenaline, 60% adrenaline, and now I can pull off another ultimate. That's thanks to the ability of the Havoc armor set. So for the first set, after casting an ultimate ability, so if you wear two pieces, after casting a melee ultimate ability, regenerate 15% of adrenaline over 18 seconds. If this effect is already activated, um, instead regenerate 20% instantly. So like let's say I use Berserk right after I use Berserk. If I use any other ultimate a couple of seconds after Berserk is activated, what that does is it allows my adrenaline to shoot up by 20% instantly. And this is what I mean by just a little bit too soon. Um, like if I had started the battle right then and there instead of walking away from Vindicta, uh, my Berserk wouldn't have been ready for me to use. And if it wasn't ready for me to use, let's move out of there because I'm gonna die if I stick around there. If it wasn't ready for me to use, then damn it, I dropped the tablet. Sorry if you heard that. But yeah, if I start the battle without it, it throws off the entire rhythm of the battle, and instead of it being like an ultimate by Berserk, like it has the backup ultimate for the Meteor Strike. And yeah, I mean, the Vestments of Havoc, that two set armor, that two piece armor set bonus is really useful for the rotation that I'm currently running. Another really useful thing is turn that on. The other bonuses that come along with the full set. So if you have three items, your berserk actually is extended by 6 seconds, and then if you have all four items, your maximum adrenaline is increased by 20%. So my regular max adrenaline is actually 120. Uh, and that's what allows me to pop off so many ultimates so quickly without really being like, oh no, like, do I have enough adrenaline, you know? And so that's what's helping with my adrenaline. Now, the other thing that's helping with my damage is the actual the essence of finality. I have the capability to do a higher amount of soul steal and a or soul split, and I also have the capability to increase my accuracy. Now, bear in mind, accuracy isn't that important for me here, just because I already have 100% accuracy. Um, I think since like level 90, or like tier 90 weapons, but my weapon is the Masterwork two hand sword, the tier 99 melee two hand weapon, and um, it's really really strong. Like you're just seeing me hit really highly. Most I think that the purpose of this weapon when it was created, it just was really like a cheap but effective way of getting a level 99 weapon or a tier 99 weapon for the melee people, because let's be honest, like RuneScape has been a lot more for if not melee, then it's been a lot more for magic or for ranged. And melee kind of fell on the wayside, and it has sets like this where like the Vestments of Havoc, that they have like so many, like three sets that are all based around adrenaline. But that's because like melee needs that much help when it comes to adrenaline. Um, Another thing that kind of brings this setup together is actually the Ring of Death. The Ring of Death is useful just because if you mess up, and you're not paying attention, your character stayed in the wrong square for just a little bit too long, then that's okay. Like, what you can do instead of uh, like dying right away, you get an extra another life bar, to stay alive, and then like teleport out or finish the fight. And yeah, I mean, I also have the scripture of Amiskut. The scripture of Amiskut, it has a nice bonus in terms of damage and in terms of AOE damage. I feel like it's like that mid tier for everything. Because once it procs, it does give you a bit of a damage boost, and it also leaves like a AOE for crowd control, but it's not as powerful as the Grimoire. The critical Grimoire that raises up your critical damage and makes it so much easier to deal super high damage with whatever style that you're using. And then melee, even though it has high burst damage, like I wouldn't say that the Scripture of Jazz is very good for it, just because the Scripture of Jazz is kind of random when it activates or when it perks. So if you're using the Scripture of Jazz and you just finish your Berserk rotation and it activated right after your Berserk rotation, then you're gonna be like, what the hell? Like, I got the I got the bonus, but I can't even use the bonus properly because I just used all my ultimates. I just used all of my thresholds. And then Bic is for skilling, and the Scripture of Wen. It's good for AOE. It's best for AOE, but otherwise it kind of struggles in enemies like this that move around a lot. Um, like this is a single enemy, and oh shit. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. So, what happened here is that my perk activated. It stopped me from using any kind of adrenaline, and once that happened, my rotation went on with two ultimates in the beginning, and as you can see, like poor Vindicta, like Vindicta was obliterated, and now I just kind of have to wait again for that. I just have to wait for that respawn, and I want to see if my Berserk is gonna be ready in time, because it genuinely might not be. Uh, I also need to drink some Overload. Where was I? Shoot. Oh yeah, why it happened? Okay, there you go. Like you saw, like you gotta trust the progress or the process sometimes. Like you saw, like my Berserk was like 1 second away from losing its cooldown, and after that 1 second, like it was really able to just barely activate it in time for my character to take down to start fighting Vindicta. But if it hadn't activated, it would have messed up the entire rotation. But it did. So you gotta look at the positives, and trust me, there's been a lot of negatives lately. But you gotta try to be positive. And if you feel really confident in this setup, like I'm not changing the vestments of Havoc. I'm not changing my Master Hand 2H sword. The only thing I might change would be the enhanced glove of passage, and that's mostly because I after Havoc or Smash successfully hits, your next melee ability will deal 10% increased damage, and target takes 20% more bleed damage in from bleeds, or 10% more bleed damage, right? Um, it's nice. Shit. Okay, finish the fight, and then we can teleport out. Come on. Okay, good. He died. Good. And this is what I mean by that um by that being really useful, that ring of death. It allows you to make mistakes like I just did. Like that was a pretty big error where I wasn't really paying attention, and next thing you know, oh crap, like my HP went all down, and instead of showing up at death's door, I'm here in War's Retreat. After I finished the battle with what's his face, with Vindicta after I finished the kill, and yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I would change, the actual gloves. But even then, at the moment, like they're some of the most powerful gloves I have. So yeah, there's no real point to like being like, oh, let me change it, or oh, let me adjust it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And I think I've shown you multiple times that like the system that I developed for this boss, like it's really efficient. Like 30,000 hits, that's 60k in a couple of seconds. A couple more thousand hits, just constantly hitting it for hitting Vindicta for like 6,000, 7,000. Um, and 12,000, do assault, that's the threshold, and boom, Vindicta's dead. Like, I had to restart, or I had to teleport out and then rejoin the instance because there was a problem with my, uh, with me like dying and having to use the Ring of Death. But otherwise, everything is chill. Um, so that kind of covers the armor. I went through the entirety of the armor, the vestments of havoc, the weapon that I'm using, the masterwork two-handed sword, the ring that I have on, which is the ring of death, and the essence of finality, the gloves that I'm using, which are the gloves of passage, enhanced gloves of passage, and the last but not least, at least in terms of equipment that I'm wearing, because I did cover the scripture of a mascot. The last thing I'm going to cover is actually the Ignis Cal Ket, right? Now, this thing is really useful, and this is actually what makes this rotation possible. Because the what it does is it actually reduces the adrenaline cost for the ultimate ability Overpower. Um, it lowers it and it actually makes it stronger, which is really good for me because it lowers the actual cost of the ability to be triggered down to 60% adrenaline, and then it also increases the amount of damage that the actual ability does. Now, this one you can't really buy, you have to get by killing the God Wars dungeon Zuck, I think his name is. God Wars Dungeon 2 boss. But again, like it's just kind of like um if you don't have it, you can still do something similar to this. There's methods like this that are a lot lower requirements, at least in terms of items, weapons, and even curses or just abilities to have. But this is the way that I've done it, right? And this is the way that I've been able to just chill AFK Vindicta um, and do something else. So that's kind of about it for the video. The actual ability rotation is right here on the screen. It's been activating every couple of seconds. Um, the actual progress or process of fighting Vindicta, I think I've explained it or at least shown it really well right now. Like, all you really have to do is turn on your curses, turn on your buffs, and turn on auto retaliate, and just go at it. Let Vindicta learn why it shouldn't be attacking you, but it's a game, so it always will. And usually every hour that I do this, I tend to get a drop. Which means like I'll get like a sigil or an armor piece, or I'll get like a Zerosian essence as a drop. But Everything else is still pretty decent. Like if you don't get any drops, if you go dry, I think like the loot that you can get from this is in 1 hour, it's going to be like 2 mil, 3 mil. But if you get a drop, especially a good drop, you're looking at maybe like 40 mil, you know, 30 mil at the very least. I haven't checked the prices for the Vindicta items recently, but if I manage to get a drop before I end the video, then I'll just take a like go sell it at the Grand Exchange or something. Um, you can also do this with other combat styles. At this point, Vindicta is really easy to AFK. It's just a matter of like actually being willing to put in the effort of like developing a system where something like this happens, where like for example within 30 seconds Vindicta's dead, you know. Because if you take a lot longer than 30 seconds, at least with melee, because of the way that Vindicta moves around and the mechanics of Vindicta, you end up dying. But by that same token, like when you have it's not Vindicta. Huh, okay, weird. Sorry, I was reading that the candy item that I got as a drop, and that's just interesting. And yeah, I mean, it's a decent amount of experience per kill. I think it's a couple thousand. It shouldn't be anything more than 10k, 12k. But you're literally killing this guy within 30 seconds. Every single hour that you do here, if you follow this rotation, this pattern, you're at least looking like at 50 kills an hour. You know, maybe, yeah, like 50 kills an hour, because like it takes you 30 seconds, 40 seconds for Vindicta to die. It takes you another 10 seconds for it to respawn, and it takes you 60 seconds for Berserk to cool down. So if you're literally killing Vindicta every single Berserk cooldown for an entire hour, that's 60 kills in 1 hour. Sure, there might be accidents, and then you might have to teleport out, go to like return after showing up at that's office. But either way, like you can do a variety of things here. And yeah, um, I think that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Let's finish this off. Let's use that special attack. Nice. And stop. Bye. Take care, and thanks for watching.